people and still tell me what they employ them for.
When I see our governors, wicked people. Wicked people. Wicked people. Whole state. Wicked people. Wicked people. Make una pack.
Carry your palliatives.
Pack your palliatives. Pack am na your right, na your own. Yes. Take am. Wicked people.
Location na Mobi. Eh? Mona go collect palliative o.
It's fucking real, man.
Oh, my brother. Mobilo. Eh?
COVID-19 palliatives. Cross-River State Warehouse. Cross-River State Warehouse. COVID-19 palliatives. Cross-River State Warehouse. As you can see, joy no day. Joy.
I think there's something happening.
I mean, they come on. I swear you walk up back their shit. Just imagine COVID-19 palliatives. Just look at. Yeah. Wow. Everybody feel that place like one zone. Everybody just fight it.
Video.
Circle Mall. This is Circle Mall, Lekki, and this is what is going on here. This is really bad. I don't know how these people will be able to go back to work anytime soon, even when the curfew is lifted. I don't know how they will be able to go back to work. Look at Health Plus, it's emptied. Rough and tumble. I have friends.
So a lot of looting and a lot of food that could be shared to billions of Nigerians are being stocked up in a place, but a lot of Nigerians discovered it and they went there looting everything this morning. I pray God comes to our rescue. A lot of Nigerians are hungry. I could see elderly people going there struggling with young boys trying to feed this.
Now, who stop? Stop. COVID-19, stop.
COVID-19.
Yeah, this is live. This is live. Live at Maza. Yes, live. Live at Maza. Live at Maza. You can see the crowd. They break where they pack COVID-19 food. Where the government pack COVID-19 food and be rebranding it and be selling. So now the masses broke into it, and you can see what they are doing. They are collecting the COVID-19 food, going. Yes, you can see. This is live at Monkey Village, Maza, Lagos. Yes, you can see. You can see for yourself. Yes, you can see. You can see. You can see for yourself.
Nguyelo numandenga, nguyelo numandenga, nguyelo umandenga.
My name is Gadashabo, and I'm here with my colleague.
I believe you will say senior colleague.
Junior colleague.
Senior colleague. My name is Olukokun. Outstanding Olukokun.
Yes. We have not forgotten that you are outstanding. Anyway, today on the AfricaNEV Podcast, we'll be talking about a number of issues. As you are well aware, if this is not your first time of listening or watching us, on this podcast, we talk about sustainable energy and transport for Africa. But we cannot do that if our security is under threat. And for the past couple of weeks, there's a new hashtag, EndSARS. In the biggest country by population on the continent, that's Nigeria. And anything that threatens Nigeria threatens the stability of not only the West African region, but Central Africa, and I believe with spillover effect for the rest of the continent. So, Olukokun, what is going on in Nigeria?
Over the years, people have experienced quite a number of, quite a lot of police brutality. They've never had justice. Police are running their own course, infringing on human rights and all of that. So until about 2 weeks ago, the video went viral of how they killed another guy and people took to the streets. The past couple of years, there has been some peaceful protests like that.
Yeah, Aloura. Sorry, you got cut off. You know where you got cut off, right?
Yeah. You see, the current situation is very tense. People are looting. People have taken to the streets. It's no more peaceful. It's now violent. Burning properties believing to be that of the government. Hello?
I'm here.
Allow me. So the situation is very tense right now. People are taken to the street, burning places, maiming. Police are also shooting people and all manner. Now, this case started 2 nights ago. The issue of violence started 2 nights ago. The latest part of the protest started about 14 days ago, whereby it has been peaceful until 20th of October 2020, which was this last Tuesday. There were some incidents that people believe was orchestrated by the government after several attempts to stop the peaceful protest, and people are defiant, saying until their demands are really met, that they will not leave the street. So something happened this last Tuesday at the Lekki toll, which is like the biggest crowd for protesters. They one of their biggest gathering, which is the Lekki toll. And Lekki toll, it's a place whereby they believe one of the leaders in the country make quite a lot of money from. So it was where they staged their protest, and there have been no activities for almost 2 weeks now, counting on the amount of money lost, which the man is even denying that is not part of the business, that he doesn't own that business and all of that. So, but then some things happened and the military shot at the protesters, even while holding the Nigerian flag, sitting down and, the national anthem. So, because we believe that you cannot hold the national flag, sing the national anthem, and the military will still be shooting at you, is uncalled for. So they shot, the people were scrambling around, and there were a lot of injuries and all manner. So that the
Olukokun,
situation has become right now.
let's step back a bit. When this whole protest started, I remember the first time I saw the hashtag, I was on my way to my hometown. And there was this lady. I don't know, I'm trying to look for her tweet. A Nigerian lady who started a trend, who made a tweet, and the tweet blew up about Ghana police, how she felt when she was in Ghana compared to how she feels when she's in Nigeria, her home country. And the examples she gave, to me, was very shocking. And then subsequent people, Nigerians, joined the thread and started making comments. I mean, the basic thing is, if you meet a policeman at a stop, whatever, a barrier,
The checkpoint.
it's a matter of life and death.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
I have never experienced that before.
Well, that's the situation.
In Ghana, we tend to even argue with our policemen. You see a policeman holding an AK or whatever, and he's being argued by the citizens. It happens all the time. So I was quite stunned that is normal. So for those listening to us or watching us, I want you to give us a personal experience, because when you say EndSARS, I don't think I really understood what the whole thing was about until that thread. I was like, wow, this is crazy. So can you give us your perspective?
I've only, you see, most times these policemen work on people that doesn't know their right fully. If you don't know your right, they tend to, walk you up. That's one condition. Another condition is if you know you are a culprit yourself, you have violated the law and all of that. So they overdo things. What they are doing is not outrightly wrong, but they always overdo it, infringing on human rights, fundamental human rights, and a lot of abuse, police brutality. I've had cases like that too. I was in my office sometimes ago, and someone accused me of taking some money without getting the services and all of that. And they took me to the station by holding my belt, holding me at the waist, literally dragged me to the station. And I was trying to explain in the station, and this guy was kicking my head.
Are you kidding me?
I'm telling you, that was so many years ago. That was around 2006. Yeah.
Okay.
2006 and all of that. You see, but then if they don't know who you are, and you go back to, reinforce, they tend to beg, because now they have now seen the severity of what they did. So when I was released, because I have a brother in the area that came to my aid, and I was released. So I now went back home too to report, because my father too is highly ranked and in the civil defense then. So I had to use his influence to take some revenge, or what can I call it, to do some payback. That was that. Another one was when I was driving. I just bought a car, so I was driving, and I was driving out with my friend, like, let's just test the car, and I bought the car. It's a used car, I bought it. The guy couldn't, get me all the necessary particulars. or that I needed to use the car before I do the normal registration, right? So the police stopped me at a checkpoint and they were like, where's the paperwork? I said, well, there's no paperwork because I just bought this car and I will need time to go and fix the paper and all of that. And I said, where's the receipt? Now, the receipt was a written one. The guy wrote it like, my name is so, I live so place. I sold this car at so amount to one Mr. Tolulope Olukokun so address, then signed and I signed and all of that as an evidence. The guy just busted into laughter. I was like, like he has caught a thief today. That I stole the car. That how could I take this as a receipt that anybody can, can write this and all of that. So he said, you must take me to the station. I refused. I told him I won't go anywhere. It became an issue. And thank God we were in a township. So they called their mates and all of that. I called people that I know too. We got this settled and I left. You see, mostly what my father usually told us is that we shouldn't argue with police because they are trigger happy. They shoot at will and all of that. But
the police is a civil protection unit. It's not the military. Why should police be trigger happy?
Yeah, that's the situation. They extort. You see, quite a lot of fundamental issues. The people blamed it on, bad or poor remuneration and all of that, poor facility, poor training, and all of this. The situation is compounded. It's a complex one, and
I don't think so. I don't agree with that statement.
We have a notorious unit in the whole police force, which we call the FSARS, the Federal Special Anti-Robbery Squad. Those ones are quite notorious. They kill at will.
But apparently they are meant to deal with violent crimes, right? Like robberies and stuff. So is it that they have national jurisdiction? They can roam all over the country?
Yeah, it's the federal unit.
Okay.
Federal unit. So they can a unit in Ibadan can go to Lagos to investigate, bring the culprit back. They work like that.
So they have license. Okay.
Yeah. Right. So they are.
But then there's another thing. When I listen to the story, I mean, I am a foreigner looking in. I'm not you. But it seems to me that there are echoes of our colonial, shall I say, legacy. Because during the colonial times, the police then were used as a force to control the citizens, not to defend or protect the citizens. And I have a feeling that when you look at Ghana and you look at Nigeria, it seems that Ghana has sort of moved a bit ahead in that regard, moving from a civil control unit to a civil protection unit as compared to your people. Am I right? Because you see, the examples you are giving, first of all, your case even seemed a bit more normal compared to the examples that I saw on that thread. Maybe if I see it, for those of you watching, I may even include the thread in the podcast. Where if a policeman stops you at night at a checkpoint and you are asleep, it's a problem. I never experienced that, or I hardly hear of stories like that.
You see, I cannot say categorically that they are borrowing straight from the colonial masters and all of that. But the police has been an instrument of corruption in this country. All the buck stops with them. during elections, the ruling party make use of the police to rig elections. The thugs will wear police uniform to go and snatch ballot boxes, scare people away, and all of that.
Are you serious?
Hey, the police has been a very, very instrument of corruption for most corrupt leaders in this country. That is why
you do realize that what you just said is that, to me, the police is at the heart of Nigeria's problems. You realize that, right? Because if you cannot effect change through the votes, then it means that an incompetent leader who has bought the police can use the police to sort of steal the election. So whether you oppose him or not, as a citizen, he doesn't care.
So the thing is, it's not a future tense. It's what has happened, and has happened a lot. So that's not an issue, right? It has happened. But what we're saying is, if we can reform the police and we get the police to do the right thing, everybody will sit tight, both the citizenry and the leadership, the government. Because when there is corruption and the police is not corrupt and the judicial system is not corrupt, the police will rather go after the corrupt leaders, bring them to book, and take them to court. So in the old system of Nigeria right now, the police are corrupt. The judicial system is almost corrupt. They buy off judges and all of this. So the situation is a gross impunity. And that is why the youth are saying they are fed up. They are tired of all this bad governance, police brutality. I mean, what will you say to Nigerian youth that are excelling outside Nigeria? They go outside the country, they do wonderfully well, they make us proud. But when you are in your own hometown, is either death or stagnation all your life? Not in a spiritual terms, but because there is no enabling environment anywhere. If you are a little bit, without investigating, there has been jokes all around that in US, they try to investigate someone first until they have overwhelming evidences before they can issue an arrest. But in Nigeria, they will arrest you, beat you up until you confess to that crime you didn't even commit. And that's the evidence, and that's how they take it to court. So the level of
what you are saying that how do you call it? Jurisprudence have been turned on his head. In other words, instead of saying that you are innocent until proven guilty, in Nigeria, you are guilty until proven innocent.
Until proven innocent, yes. Most times you are not usually proven innocent, except you have money.
You do realize you are describing a lawless country.
It's not lawless, but laws work for those that know it.
No, the law has basically been hijacked. You see, because the example you gave of yourself, all right, if it had been somebody whose father didn't have a certain position in the civil defense force, it would have been a different story. If it's somebody maybe who's not politically connected or who has money, it will be a different story. So therefore, a whole category of people who happen to be the majority, who are poor, who may not be socially connected, the law does not work for them. That is what I mean.
Not outrightly, because we have some civil societies that are always fighting for equal rights. You get when every other means are failed, you get to these people, they take up your case, they take the government. When the noise becomes so much, when it's becoming, irritating for the government, they just let and say, okay, we apologize, and it's not that it's lawless, but
I don't think
it's a bad situation for the poor, really.
You're not getting what I'm saying. You see, what I mean by that, maybe that is too strong a word.
Equal to get justice in Nigeria. No. That's the truth.
As in, the abnormal has become normal. You see, that is especially in a lot of in Africa.
Yeah.
Even in my country, in a lot of situations, you see that the abnormal has become normal. And because the abnormal is now normal, you need extra resources in order to have the benefit that you must have by right. The benefit now becomes a privilege.
Yeah.
That is what I mean.
Yeah. That is why they always celebrate any politician that does any little thing for the people. Maybe the guy makes a road, they will start shouting, they will start jubilating that he has tried. Because we are not used to that. You see, they take money for projects. You see, a video is just going viral before we started this podcast of 2 warehouses that were broken into by so-called hoodlums or citizens, whoever that broke into those warehouses, big warehouses, that was warehousing COVID-19 palliatives that was supposed to be shared in April, May of this month. I mean, the warehouses were up to 600 feet by 600 feet, filled up with a bag of rice, so many other condiments and foodstuff. Think of it, macaroni, anything that is available. And they were storing them, and people were complaining of hunger during the lockdown and all of this. 2 big warehouses. People, you can go online now, you will see the videos. People broke into them. They've started packing, including the military. The military have gone packing, the civil defense, the police, the citizens. Since morning, they said they have not exhausted what is inside that warehouse till now that we are speaking.
Our food plenty there, oh. Plenty.
Food plenty.
Our food plenty for there.
A warehouse of 600 feet by 600 feet, full of COVID-19 products, was discovered today. Look at people struggling to pass. This incident has been going on since 7 a.m. As I speak with you, sources say the warehouse has not gone off. Palliative that were supposed to be given to people during the COVID-19 period was hidden away in a warehouse, and Nigerians were dying of hunger and starvation. Look at this man struggling to survive.
Yes, can you imagine?
Look at him. Something that is supposed to be brought to his home.
This thing for the past 2 hours.
Look at it.
It is still full.
You mean?
You not finish. It's fully loaded. The warehouse is fully loaded.
Can you imagine?
Nigeria has more than enough. Nigeria has more than enough.
The Navy has collected their own. The armies have put their truck, collected their own. Immigration, custom, last man. And the warehouse has not gone half. The warehouse has not gone half. The warehouse has not gone half. Palliative for the poor, stored away. This is October 21st, 2020. Palliatives that were supposed to be shared in May were stored away. Some of the products are even expired. Look at how people are struggling.
They are not expired though. 2021.
No, you see.
Never expired. 2021.
You see people are struggling. You see. Look at it.
I saw another way I'll see there for Ikeja. Another one for Ikeja. Lagos State.
Look at it. Not for sale. Not for sale. They stored it. Look at it. Not for sale.
COVID-19 is on the back.
They stored it. Wait. Let me see the pack. Now see. Look at it. COVID-19. Not for sale.
COVID-19.
The poor are suffering, and they stored it in a warehouse. Look at people passing through canal just to survive. Hunger in the land.
A sachet of packet tomato, 120 naira.
Look at people struggling to survive.
We are suffering.
Look at people.
Bag of rice, 40,000 naira.
Look at people.
Echo has come to our head. These people are looters, they are criminals.
I'm telling you.
So I want have to ask, what was the essence of warehousing those palliatives when people were hungry and you couldn't share it 5 months down the line? You know, people were like saying maybe they wanted to rebag it and sell it again and all of that. That would have been billions of naira for another person, because the minister of disaster came out and said we fed the whole Nigeria with 27 billion when a lot of people didn't see anything. There is a lot of impunity in the land. Do you get it? Things are not working as they should. That's why Nigeria is so backward. And I mean, Professor Lumumba said, when the day Nigeria wakes up, Africa will never be the same. We have what it takes to be the giant of Africa and to lead other Africa in the right place. But ourselves, we are suffering. Do you get it? So a lot of things are really bad right now. And this looks like a time of reset for us.
Listen,
it looks like
listen. I was, let's get back to the protest. Okay, so you see,
I mean, this is the effect of the protest that I just told you. It's because of the protest that led to this. All these things were coming up.
You mean that this whole warehouse thing is because of the protest that?
If not for the protest that has gone out of hand, that people took to the streets, nobody knew any warehouses were having COVID-19 palliative. I'm talking about the development of this money. Do you know how many places they have looted? They have burnt down banks. They've done all manner of bad things. But these are not protesters. Let me be clear with you. The protesters make their demand known.
Hold on. You see, because this is a very emotive subject, I wanted us to take it bit by bit. First of all, you have established the background to this whole issue, so that we have some context. That is very, very important. And the second thing is now the protest itself. When that video was posted by whomever, and people took it up on social media, what I saw was that the whole thing was a bit organic. So organically, it grew, then it spilled over from online to offline. It also. Now, because of that organic nature, there is not a centralized command structure. Like, oh, these are the so-called leaders of the protest. There is nothing like that per se. We may have significant voices, but there's no centralized leadership. That's the first thing. The second thing that I saw was that the protesters had 5 demands. I think from ending SARS to reforming the pay package of the police. Very clear and simple demands. All right. And number 3, the protests were very well organized, because I've seen pictures and videos of protesters packing the refuse that they have made at the end of their activities. I've seen, in fact, a mind of longevity, because we see this Saturday, I saw that protesters have actually shifted their social activity and planned their life around the protest. People are organizing church services on the protest grounds. They were very clear that they are not rioting. You see that these are citizens. They are not hoodlums. You see that they actually want a better Nigeria. Then finally, we also saw that as the central government was sort of, I don't know whether to say massaging or ignoring the issue, the protest then begins to spiral to other areas where we are not talking about reform. You start hearing everybody talking about reform, and then you see this kind of schism appearing within the protesters, where some people want to focus on the EndSARS movement until it finishes, and others were like, oh, SARS is just the beginning. There are other more fundamental things, because SARS is a symptom of a disease. Okay, so why Please say what you're going to say.
EndSARS was a tag. What you are seeing that people are, eating the street and is years of bottled up anger, hunger, and a lot of misappropriation, frustration that people have bottled up over the years. Nigerians are the people they always tag with suffering and smiling. Once they go for comedy, once the comedy show, once they watch movies, once they drink, once they dance, they forget their sorrow. They are very resilient people, hardworking, yet nothing is given back to them from the government. We see bags of money exchanging hands every day. We see a lot of money lost to flimsy excuses like a monkey took the money, a snake swallowed money, and all manner of rubbish. See, all of these things that I'm telling you,
you mean that an official will come and say that a snake has swallowed money or a monkey has?
Into that, but just Google these facts and get them. It has happened a lot. It's so crazy. We are in a jungle right now, where anything can happen. An eagle can come and take billions of dollars and they won't see it again in Nigeria. So it was that situation. And people will laugh it off, people will joke about it, people will just keep saying, let's keep walking, let's keep. But it got to a time, there's no way you will fill up a cup and it won't get to the full and overflow. And it was overflowing and people eat to the street. And they make a demand that, no, it is not just that we want to enter. We want a complete police reformation. We want it well reformed and all of that. Few weeks before the time of the protest, I had been on BBC to talk about security, energy.
Yeah. For those watching, I will link the video below.
We dealt so much on it, whereby we were saying that we need the security to be reformed. Few weeks after, just less than 2 weeks, the protest broke out in Lagos, and people went to the street and all of that. And we all know the problems. So everybody was shouting, reform the police, pay them very well, let them be articulate. If they are well paid, maybe they will not need my own. Police and SARS were going on the street with POS machine. If you say you don't have cash, they will give you POS to transfer. They take people to the ATMs to transfer.
Are you serious?
If your parents come for you that, okay, you've been arrested, that is if they have not killed the person, and the parents come for you, it's negotiating price, 200,000, 300,000. People are so tired. These are the people that are meant to protect us and now extorting us. They are the real robbers. They are the real robbers, not the citizen. And you see, when we are talking about internet fraudster is a matter of intelligence. You don't need to take arm to the street and say because you are having dreadlock or you are wearing dirty jeans or because you are driving a nice car, you are an internet fraudster. No, I'm a successful person. I work. I've labored all my life. I'm still working. I can drive any kind of car I want. I'm not a fraudster. I don't even know how to fraud. You get it? So
you see, it seems that one of the things that I saw was that it seems like in Nigeria it's a crime to prosper as a young person. Like if you are young and you are prosperous or you exhibit signs of prosperity, the police will target you.
Because the situation is meant to keep you, the system is meant to keep you in perpetual poverty. So anytime they see you okay or feeling better than them, the police will come after you. And they take anybody. Once they tell you are a thief, you must agree, even if you are not. That's the situation. They've killed so many people like that. We have some of them that are so notorious that all they want to do is want to catch you, want to kill you. And why we continue like this? That's why people went to the street, including myself. I went to the street. I was, saying, using my social media platform to advocate for a better Nigeria. So on top of all of this, we've not had a significant show of action from government. The government seems like a Jessica, and because over the years there has been no good leadership structure. They promised and failed so many times, and that is why people no leadership for the protest. Though well coordinated, you know, in 2 weeks, they've been able to raise over 60-something million naira, and they have expended over 30 million at the last time I checked, and they were accountable for everything. They were able to account for what they use the money for. You go to the protest ground, you are paid. There are, you know, ambulances ready for you to give you first aid and all of that. Everything was organized. Charging good to
Wait. Olukokun, your video, sorry, your audio seems to be giving us problems. I don't know why. Good. Hold on. Sami is here. He's saying something on the chat, so I want him to actually say it. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good. What he's saying is that, you see, that there seems to be a lot of fraud boys in the system who are Nigerians, and that has perpetuated a certain stereotype. Okay, and that even in Ghana we have the same stereotype, which is true. Hold on. I will say this though. About 20 years back or so, a lot of crimes, violent crimes and fraud that were happening in Accra, for example. You always hear there's a Nigerian squad leader or a group of Nigerians. But over time, that has changed. Okay? We don't hear of a lot of Nigerians being involved in violent crime in Ghana today. Maybe it's here one or two. So that stereotype is still in a lot of people's mind, but it does not apply to the reality on the ground. However, I don't know the situation in Nigeria. Can you confirm or deny this statement?
Well, number one is I've never been to Ghana, and the same thing you are thinking is what many other people in the rest of the other part of the world are thinking. But most times, when you see a Nigerian in your country, you can testify that a Nigerian is doing very well, very hardworking, and very good.
Oh yes.
You see, I cannot think. This thing. You see, I understand your question. The way the thing is that you cannot use the minority to quantify the majority. It doesn't work.
Exactly. That is true.
And every country has, you know, the Chinese guy, I was like, well, they've had a very bad experience with Nigerians and all of that. I said, I've had a very bad experience with so many Chinese guys. I still have some that I want to make videos of. I ordered for something, you sent me a wrong thing. I ordered for laser, expensive. You gave me iPhone pouches. What is that? And when I used, what's it called? Dispute resolution on AliExpress, they ruled in their favor. That is stealing. We've been on YouTube, we've seen how they. Yes. I've ordered for things that never came. And they never returned my money. Those are Chinese guys too. So everybody, every country has their bad elements. There's no country that is sane completely. You get it? But when you, because our country is now not projecting us as good people because of the way we treat each other in-house. So it's the bastard that is going viral, that is going everywhere. Go online and search the statistics. Out of all the blacks in America, the population of Nigeria doing very well in education, in academics, in works, any highest are Nigerians. Go and check it out. Check other countries as well. So I cannot buy into this line of story. Do you get it? Because one.
See, I personally have repeated that, and I can give a testimony because from the time I was in school, I've had a lot of Nigerian friends. I'll be honest.
Okay.
And But not just Nigerians, I have a lot of African friends. It was something that I set out intentionally to do. Now, what I can say is that I once asked a Nigerian friend of mine, his name is Prince. I think at the time he was in first year or so. What is the difference between Ghana and Nigeria? It's a question I asked a lot of Africans. And he told me something that I found very profound. He said that the difference between Ghana and Nigeria is that Ghana, we have systems and they work after a fashion. But in Nigeria, there are no systems. In other words, in Nigeria, you're your own electricity provider, you're your own water, you're your own security, you're your own everything. The government does not exist for you. All right?
You see, yes, up to certain points you may be right, but the issue is that people came in, greed came in, and they wanted to be better off, so they shut everything down.
Olukokun, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. I'm very sorry, but your internet seems to be giving us problems.
Sorry, my network. So my parents enjoyed all of these things, you know.
Your parents enjoyed why you went off.
Yes. It's my network. So my parents enjoyed all of those things, right? The education, they had pipe-borne water in their houses. Everything was available. No struggle. Nobody.
The government was working then.
Because of the system we were even running. We were running a parliamentary system.
But Ghanaians were running from Ghana to Nigeria.
Yeah. You know.
So it's a fact. We are talking about now. Because this competition, I remember, I think that was 2009 or so.
I'm trying to let you know that something went wrong.
Okay.
Corruption.
Okay.
People became greedy. People started, you know, and it's not far-fetched from the Western world as well. When oil was discovered, things went agog. You know, the British or the Western world wanted to profit from the oil in the Niger Delta. They had to set up some mercenaries. So they bribed this one certain amount of money. They bribed the other one certain amount of money. You know, the corruption started, and you know what's supposed to be our prosperity became our doom.
So you're talking about the oil case now.
Yes. You know, the same thing happening in Congo with their cobalt and all of that. And the diamond in which country? Do you get it? So
are you buying into the narrative that there are foreign actors who are sort of perpetuating this sort of divide and rule thing, where they will get a group that they will patronize with resources in order to help them extract the wealth of the nation?
That is how they are able to profit. If not, they have seen videos online that they said they cannot allow Africa to prosper and to get things right. If not, their own livelihood, their own standard of living will be well reduced. I think I posted that video on AfricaNEV.
I think we'll have this is a bigger conversation. We'll be having a conversation. Hold on. Each and its place. This conversation, we'll have it purposely, maybe next week. So I'm putting it out there because it's a conversation that John Bisingo really wants to also us to have. So we have to make that for available. So next week we have a purpose-built conversation for that. But for now, let us focus on the EndSARS movement. Now, the government, hold on. The government, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, has now changed the narrative because all of a sudden now violence has entered the equation. Until this Lekki toll incident, there were no reported issues of violence. Now, after the incident, it's now a different conversation because somebody's father or mother has died. Sorry, somebody's son or daughter have died. Somebody's sister, somebody's uncle. So now the whole thing has become sort of radicalized. And it seems to me that that was, I hope I'm not jumping again here, but it seems to me that all along that is what the government would have preferred. If the protesters were violent, they could have tagged them as hoodlums and then deploy the military or the police to crush them. Because I've seen videos like that.
You see, God.
Oscillators talking.
The people we are dealing with are old cabas. They have old tricks with them. You get it? We are young blood. We are spontaneous, always resilient, and ready to go. But we don't have
energy. We have a lot of energy. I saw that.
We have, but we don't have their experience. They are dealing with all the experience. And those that knew about all of these things have come out to read to us their playbook. And that was exactly what they did, one after the other.
Oh, so no, hold on. So therefore, the fact that the protesters were peaceful, it was part of your plan to counteract their plan.
Yes, yes.
If that is the case, it has worked. It has worked because now any rational person can see that the government is the perpetrator, not you, the protesters.
If you've been watching the Nigerian space for the past 1 year or more, you will see that this government didn't even want any protest at all. Every simple gathering, they use the military, the police to clamp it down. There are evidences about that. Any simple gathering of a protest and all of that, they jail people, they do all manner of things, and they will not allow it. But this one was well coordinated, organic, like you said. Nobody, influenced anything. People just came out of their own anger and frustration that, come on, this has to stop. You get it? Now, what they did first to start sending, hoodlums to protesters.
Yes, we saw that. To provoke them.
Where a police van, a DSS vehicle, conveying hoodlums with machete, clubs, guns at some point to the protesters to disperse them. That's how slow the government took to disperse a peaceful, protest. Because, the whole economy was about to be grounded peacefully, and young men were enjoying themselves. They frustrated their means of, raising funds. They went to Bitcoin, the way of technology. Information was flowing.
They could not control their resource base because of the Bitcoin thing.
Fine. We were able to prove that young people could run an organization and make it a success. There was accountability of how the fund was used. There was no single complaint of I didn't see a food on the protest ground or something. Everybody was adequately taken care of. Even the handicapped, the people living with disability, were blessed. People helping were donated for, and all of that. You see, things were going on fine. But the government wouldn't allow that to reign. The government wanted a different narrative.
I think that for the people in power, this would have been the scariest thing ever.
Yes. If they allowed it more than they did. If they allowed it more than they did.
No, but the cat is already out of the bag. Okay, let us draw the conversation to a conclusion. What is the way forward?
The way forward is that every well-meaning Nigerians should start telling their words to shield their sword right now, because the narrative has really changed. Quite a lot of things are going on the street, especially in Lagos, Benin, Abeokuta, even in Ibadan here, there are reported violence, a lot of deaths. So if you are well-meaning, you want a true change for Nigeria, come on, calm down right now. We don't need this violence. Let the police be able to go to the street and, clear these hoodlums from our street. Now, why it's difficult for them to clear them is that they were their instruments in the first place. They were the instrument they used to disperse the peaceful protest. So it went out of hand. And, there are so many agendas to this uproar in Nigeria. So many agendas. Some people are pushing for restructuring. Restructuring in the sense that let the West manage their own resources. Let the North manage their own resources. Let the South manage their own resources. Everybody, and we have a central government that will now be in control of things, but we will control our resources generated. We don't want a central pool whereby we gather all our resources there. You start to distribute again. You see, there are some set for that, which are capitalizing on this protest right now. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening to you. I saw something like that. Somebody, the Biafran something. Hello?
That is one narrative.
Mm-hmm.
That is another narrative you just mentioned. People that are pushing for breakups. Hello, I can hear you.
So you are talking about narratives. You gave us one narrative where people want generation of resources and control. Then you are coming to give us another narrative, which is what?
The other narrative are the people that are, asking for breakup, like the Biafrans, the Oduduwa, and all of that. They are also feeding from this uproar. They are also fueling this uproar right now, believing that it's their opportunity for Nigeria to break up and all, so that everybody can go their separate ways because of the 1914 amalgamation. Do you get it? So everybody is using this uproar to push their own agenda. But the genuine youth of this nation, the youth, are actually pushing for a unity and a progressive nation. We get nothing when we break up, right? But we can move forward together if the resources is well allocated and shared among the people. Imagine, looting the resources of the people, taking it abroad and all of that. Those people that, black mentality, there's no risk. Another one is non-concerned citizens. They just want something. They cannot protest. They cannot do anything. They are just listening. Whatever that they push to them, they are ready. So
hold on. Our time is almost up for this episode. But there is a couple of things I've noted. First of all, the youth, by this very event, they have been politicized. Okay. Yes. I say they're not political. They have been made political now. Those who are apathetic are becoming political. That is a good thing. Okay. I remember one of your campaigns is that with the young people, we must rise up and stand for political office and take control.
That's the way.
So this is helping you in that campaign. Whichever way I look at it, that is the future. The other thing that I noted is that it seems that Nigeria, you are very, shall I say, sectarian. We have the east, the southeast, the south, the southwest, the north. I don't know why there's a northeast and a northwest. There seems to be all these places, and the level of tribal sentiment seems to be very high. And it seems to me that there is a perception that one sect or region or ethnic group is trying to dominate the national discourse. And this seems to be one of the underlying root causes of this whole protest.
Close, God. I really want to say that the way forward for us right now is to form a one unit, being and begin. All lose. If we break up right now, we all lose. So we need to make an improvement in Nigeria, and that's when the young people should come out, get their photos ready, and begin to occupy position.
I have a problem with that. Let me tell you my problem.
What's the problem?
You made a statement earlier that you see this old cabal, they are very experienced. You cannot beat somebody in a game that he has been playing forever. Okay. So I think you have to turn off your microphone because I see you as you're walking around.
But it was like that for David and Goliath as well. I don't.
You see, that is my point. You see, David went to fight Goliath. he didn't fight Goliath on Goliath's terms. He fought Goliath on his own terms.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? My point to that is that we have to use the tools that are best for us, that we are more conversant with, to fight these guys. We cannot fight them in an arena that they know every corner. You will lose. Did you get it? If nothing at all, this protest has shown that when you leverage the power of technology, these old guys, they are helpless.
Yeah.
They are completely helpless. They understand protest, people are gathered physically, then they are shooting. But you see, what made this protest powerful was the element of social media. How did the funding come? Well, not social media. If they were using normal bank accounts, they could use the how do you call it? The central bank to close it down, to close the account down. You have stifled the how do you call it? The blood of the protest. That to work. Do you get it? So I think that yes, it's important that we are united. It's important that we have a common reference frame. But hello.
When it comes to the game of numbers, we are the highest in this country or in the continent, and we have our parents, because our parents have bear the grunt too for a long time. So we believe we can take them out of this, and we'll be pushing that agenda very soon.
The problem is that, you see, our parents, most of them are defeated people. They get it. They have been beaten down so much that Charlie, they are tired. You see, it is with the young, because we are young, we have energy, we have ideas. We have not met certain forces yet. I hope you understand. And I believe strongly that, you see, when we change the framework of the contest, that is how we win. You know, we are about to talk about Tesla and the earnings call. How did Elon Musk win? He changed the game. If we are playing football, yes, we are Manchester United in football. Now we are coming to play hockey. Yes. You may be the best footballing team in the world, but when it comes to hockey, if nothing at all, we are all starting from ground zero. Do you understand what I'm saying? It changes the whole narrative. So we'll end it here. Thank you very much for listening. If you are watching, this is the AfricaNEV Podcast. If it's your first time, we'd like you to subscribe. If it's not your first time, like the video, share. See you in the next one. Bye.